Hi, Steve Walters again. I want to go over today with you beam combiners. So I have a line of products which is brand new. I'm going to go over with you, but let's go over what a beam combiner is first. Okay, in the beam combiner, you would normally see a block like this, where you have your mirror, well, number one, a little red laser that goes here, and then in this portion would be your beam combiner, and this would be this is missing mirror one, but it's a little block that kind of shows you how that works. Okay, now the way this is set up to work is the CO2 laser goes through here, it comes out, it hits mirror one, the red laser comes in but reflects off of it and also bounces and hits mirror one, and this is set to be a beam combiner. It combines the two beams, the 10.6 CO2 laser beam and the red laser, which typically is around between 500 and 670 nanometers. Okay, so this is a beam combiner. It is very nice. The specs on a beam combiner, well, the ones that I make, I think it's is 99% or better transmission of the CO2 laser through it, and greater than 80% reflection of the red laser. Some important things to know: if if this beam combiner is put in backwards, the red laser will pass through the one side, reflect off of the wrong side, bounce back 20%, and you'll get a lot of, bouncing back and forth that red laser, and you will end up with more than one red dot. So it's kind of critical that you put this beam combiner in correct, and that the red reflective side is the first side the red laser hits. Now I'm going to show you a video. This is competitors mount. This is also one. I'm going to show you a little video I made because I think it's pretty important to see this, and that zinc solenoid is very soft, and the way that these lasers react with the zinc solenoid when the crystal is under stress is very, very negative. Now this is a video I made. This is I'm using cross polarizers, and I'm shining a white light through it. And when you do that, when the crystal structure, you can see it's very dark because light doesn't go through because the polarization is matching the crystal structure. But when you mess with the crystal structure, you can see it just by lightly finger tightening these plastic screws. And you'll see this is a video I have on YouTube right now. Okay. And when you, just the slightest pressure, I'm not tightening it tight. Now, what that does is, and I went to one of the OEMs, and they were complaining my beam combiners were reflecting too much. They were actually lining their red beam combiner up on the machine, and when they stood at the back of the machine, the CO2 laser is a 150 watt machine, and the CO2 laser would hit the beam combiner, and it literally was burning holes in their clothing. Now 1%, which is what the Windows specs at, that's 1.5 watts. 1.5 watts will never burn your clothing. So they were definitely getting more than 1.5 watts. When they handed me the beam combiner, I took it out, I checked it, it was 1%. And that crystal stress is what the problem is. It caused it'll cause it to heat up. It'll cause a beam distortion, and it'll cause an excess amount of reflection also. So it can do a lot of bad things to your CO2 laser that's trying to pass through it because you're distorting and messing up the crystals. Okay. I sell the glued lenses. I think the same problem is with lenses a lot. If you aren't using an O-ring, use an O-ring. Well, here's a line of products I put together. I've been working on this for a while, and that is the glued beam combiner mounts. I have several different styles. So this is an example of one right here. Okay, it's the 25 millimeter bigger one, and it's glued in place. It's completely held with zero stress, and again, you'll get all your 99% of your CO2 laser will pass through. The reflection coming off will be very, very little. Okay, that is compared to, this is what that typical mount would look like with the plastic screws on it. I have a shorter version because I've seen this also. Okay, and I've seen the shorter version that takes a smaller 20 millimeter beam combiner. The other thing I've done, now, beam combiners are kind of expensive. I don't know, I do make really good ones. I don't know how they compare to others and the Chinese manufactured ones. I sell my 25 millimeter for like 80 bucks, just under $80. The 20 millimeter I sell for just under $50, $49. But I also came up with a product that I think will work really good, and that is this thing right here. Okay, this is a 25 millimeter diameter. I've made it so that the beam can pass through it at the 45 degrees. I've all of my glued beam combiners I've laser engraved where the in, so you can't put them in backwards. Okay, and then this one will just, you know, drop in like that. Okay, and when you tighten up the screw, you still don't want to do it too tight, but now you're tightening up on the aluminum and you're not going to distort the crystal. Now this one, where the 25 millimeter sells for $79, I'm selling this for $65 as a replacement for that one. And it should give you, it should work. Maybe if you get to a large beam that's like an 8 or 10 millimeter beam, this might not work. But if you're running, definitely running 80 watts, 100 watts or less, the beams aren't that big. They're probably less than 6 millimeters, and this is going to work just fine. You don't need the big, large, more expensive beam combiner. That'll work just fine. This is some of the drawings I have. This is what the glued adapter 25 millimeter beam combiner mount would be. And again, it's less expensive because it's a smaller. I'm really using a smaller piece of zinc solenoid, so it saves me money. I'll save you money. Okay. On the I have 3 models. I have a mount A. I don't know what else to call them, A, B, and C. Okay. This is the taller one. If you look on the website, you can see dimensions, so you can measure yours and make sure that it's going to work. They all the ones that I saw have a M3 by 0.5 tapped hole in the bottom. I'm going to send, if yours are the same or not, I'm going to send all the beam combiner mounts out with two socket head captures in it. So if yours is, for some reason they changed it, it's an M4 or something stupid like that, you'll have screws that'll go in this one. And there's the A mount, the B mount, which that's a C. Here's the B mount, which is also a 25 millimeter, and then the C mount, which is a glued 20 millimeter beam combiner. So I hope this helps you understand things better, and check it out at the website. Thank you.